sponsored by Trident Shield, your trusted ally in violence preparedness. Trident Shield safeguards your loved ones with expert training and consulting. Trident Shield, defending faith through preparedness, because together we save lives.
Welcome to Christian Warrior Talk, proudly presented by Christian Warrior Mission. Hosted by former Navy SEAL, SWAT officer, and atheist, now a warrior for Jesus Christ, Pastor Jason Perry. This is more than just a podcast. It's a spiritual vanguard where we intentionally set aside the hustle of our daily lives to come together. We gather to study the Bible, share in heartfelt prayer, and engage in meaningful discussions about all things Christian, homesteading, prepping, and self-defense. Lock shields with us, and together we will hold the line. And now, let's meet your host, Pastor Jason Perry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Christian Warrior Talk. It has been forever. I am happy to be back with my brother, Adrian. We have missed you. I've missed fellowship. I have missed this brotherhood, and it's great to be back on tonight. We've got some announcements. We got all kinds of stuff going on. All good news, great news, answered prayers galore. Again, I know you haven't seen us for a while, and that's because of all good stuff as we're working through some things. So, again, welcome, everyone. It's good to see you. I'm going to throw over the overlay. Boom, and go ahead. You know the deal. It is Friday, which is Strength and Honor Friday. So when you come on, say where you're at and say Strength and Honor, and we will give you a
Strength and Honor, Strength and Honor, Strength and Honor.
So, Adrian, my brother, in Texas, Dallas area.
Strength and Honor, Strength and Honor, Strength and Honor.
So, again, I know you guys are like, where you been? And I want to explain a bunch of stuff, but I'm kind of waiting for some peeps to get on here. But the main thing I want to talk about tonight is, one, all the answered prayers that I've had and how grateful I am for God and how faithful He is. And I really want to thank all the people who have contributed and carried us during this season, this apocalyptic season for us. I'm going to recap that and, in some detail. And I'm going to thank a lot of people that have really come through for us and, that we couldn't have done it without, right? And you're one of them. I also want to talk about Atlanta. We're going to Atlanta as Trident Shield. I am speaking at the ACCS conference, talking about Steve Riley, Strength and Honor.
Strength and Honor, Strength and Honor, Strength and Honor.
So, there's that. I'll be speaking there, and we have a booth that will be manning there from June the 20th through the 23rd. So we're actually getting in town the 19th, which. And then on the 20th, that's the first day of the exhibition or in the conference. I'm speaking, I think, at 2:50 to 3:50, and then we'll just be available, at our booth the rest of the time. And I hope to meet a lot of great people. The ACCS conference that we're speaking at is I believe the Association of Classical Christian Schools. It is the only place I would send my kid, period. Everyone that I have been to has been solid. Some are ridiculously solid, like Veritas in Richmond and Regent School in Charlottesville, where if I was going to send my kid anywhere, that is where I'd send them. That's where they hold the staff. and the parents to a level of Christian discipleship that no one else does, right? So that it was remarkable. There's no electronics allowed. It's respectful dress. There's uniforms, so you're not getting booties hanging out and all that drama going on. And they teach everything from a biblical worldview, like science from a biblical worldview. Like holy smokes, So anyways, that's something that I'm really excited about. Adrian's going to be there. He's going to be our what is that called? Videographer, right? He's going to be our videographer. He's going to be there. Lauren, my amazing wife, is going to be there. So if you want to meet the amazing Lauren, come on by. She's going to be there the first 2 days at least for some amount of time. The kiddos are going to stop in. Baby Magnus Luther will be there. Jason Conway will be there, who's another member of Trident Shield. And we're just really looking forward to meeting strong believers in faith and helping them protect their families and protecting their schools, protecting their staff, and 100% protecting their kids, right? So again, that is what I think is most important. So I'm getting a lot of fan noise. Do you get like a massive, like big fan in your thing there?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn it off.
If you could, that would help.
All right, hold on.
It's super loud.
I'll unplug it. Is that better?
Oh my God, that's so much better. It was like sorry everyone, I just blew out a bunch of people's ears. So
out here in Texas,
yeah, you're gonna start melting now?
Nah, not yet. No, I'll say one more month I'll be melting.
So anyway, some big updates. One, you guys know that I got my stem cells put in my knees. They took them out of my body and injected them into my knees, and that I am now. Hey, Brandy, where are you watching from, Brandy? Let's see if we can get people to do this. I know where, but where are you watching from, Brandy? We'll see. But anyways, so they took out 10 syrettes from my body, and or 10 or 20. And then they spin out all the cells and they activate all the stem cells, and then they inject them in your knee. And the whole purpose is to cause inflammation. Now, the procedure wasn't the most, it wasn't an enjoyable procedure, but it wasn't awful, right? It's just a bunch, you know what it's like when they do locals. It's a lot of sticks and a lot of burns.
Oh, yeah.
And the stick and the burns are the worst part of the whole procedure. And it's just about 20 of those. Right. So about 20 stick and burns, and then they put it in there. But what I found impressive was how fast your body gets inflamed when you inject things that weren't supposed to be there. Right. And so that pain ramped up significantly for about 36 hours and then started tapering up.
Yeah, Brandy, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's now Mexico again.
Strength and honor.
Strength and honor.
Strength and honor.
It's now Mexico North. But anyways, strength and honor to you, Brandy. So, so my knees are now feeling better than they did before the procedure. That wasn't the case for like the first 2 weeks. First 2.5 weeks, they felt worse. My left more so than my right. So if you're considering the stem cell research, just like I thought, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to give you payments. I'm like, come on, whatever. I'm not going to take any of that. And oh boy, did I take that, because, moving was not comfortable. So, so that is good stuff. So, I can't say that it was a raging success yet. I don't know where it's going to be or where I'm going to land on this whole thing, but it has, I am feeling better than that now. Now I am, to be honest with you, I am like, man, why didn't I just get knee replacements? Because I'd be pain free and after a month of rehab, I'd probably be 100% or close to it. So again, I'm going to explore that this fall. I'm going to do the left, I think, unless this continues to progress and get a lot better. So there's been that. The other thing is I'm also working again, or I start work in July. So the financial apocalypse for us, as you guys know, last July, I got let go by Mike Lindell with no notice. No severance package, nothing. Unemployment in Tennessee is $200 a week if you make nothing, and then it rapidly goes down. So yeah, I didn't really qualify for that. So we got rode out a rough stint there. Trident Shield was there. Trident Shield was providing gravy at that point on top of what I was doing for Mike Lindell, which was the Hope Report and security work when he would let me. So that really put us in a bad spot. And for a while I had supreme peace beyond understanding. And then, I knew I was hoping I would have that peace in the fire of the furnace, like Meshach and crew, but having been in the furnace for at least a month and a half now, it was not comfortable. So, I called some SEAL friends, and a really good friend of mine, Mike, came through, and I really want to thank Mike for stepping up and fighting for me to get me the position I did. It's contract work, so I can't really say what I'm doing or where I'm going and what I'm doing, but it's going to impact this show going forward. I got to figure out what my schedule is going to be. My retirement and disability pay covers, my mortgage, but doesn't cover anything else. I'm lucky. My mortgage, I'll go over numbers. My mortgage is $1,700 here, which is amazing, right? I get a 3% rate, and all that, but everything else, no, it's tapped. And you got to remember, I was making good money. I had a 120K salary, right? And replacing 120K overnight, if you don't want to move, like that's the one drawback from Tennessee. Tennessee, there are some jobs here that'll pay around that, but they're clearance jobs. We have two a nuclear ammunition place here that makes it, and we have a nuclear fuel place here that makes it for like the submarines in the area. So you need it, like my clearance is expired and blah, blah, all that stuff, right? So none of it was a quick fix. And we were ramping up Trident Shield, and Trident Shield has been charging forward and ramping up. And now, it looks like we're going to be in a full-on hiring phase now, because we have gotten through this, and the contracting is just added stability. It's like another contract for Trident Shield, So anyways, that's good. But my schedules are going to be a little jacked up. So, I don't, for OPSEC, I'm not going to go over hours and times, but the time that this show is on, I am working or I'll be just getting off that. So this time isn't going to work anymore. And, but I do miss you guys. And I was trying to think, how do I do the greatest impact in your life? Like, and Adrian, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Like, is it a Wednesday service, or is it a Friday show, or was it the daily Bible studies and stuff that made the biggest impact in your life?
I would say the the fellowship. Just you calling me throughout the day, just checking on me, and us having conversations off the record, and just really pouring out to you. But also, I think when I started doing the lives with you, it's fun, It's fun being able to fellowship here with you instead of you just trying to do the show by yourself. I'm glad I could be a part of that, and glory to God, man, for his kingdom. And it's something that we could do to glorify him, which is great. And hopefully, touch other people's lives. Yeah.
So what I got to do, and, and you guys can weigh in this, but I got to sound off. My amazing wife, Lauren, did check in, and I didn't give her strength and honor. So strength and honor.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
So what I think I'm going to be able to do is I think I'm going to be able to do short form content daily, like get on and do a Bible study daily where I just go through a chapter. I pray it in, we do the gratitude, we do the chapter, and then pray it out. And then a weekly fellowship show like this, whether it's going to be live or not, I don't know. We never have hit that critical mass to what I wanted this to be, right? Which was people call in, tell us their problems, we pray for them, weigh in on what's going on, or celebrate their victories. And, again, we praise God for it. It has never really hit that. It was always the same cats calling in. And I know what that's like everywhere. But, I really would like it to eventually be that. I just don't think it's going to be in this season where I'm at. I think right now, we need to go into a mode of this. One of the things that we have talked about, Adrian, at length is since we all got off the crucible, we've all gone off the railroad tracks.
Oh, yeah.
In one way or another, right? So for those of you who don't know, which should be none of you, the crucible is, what we teach here. It's what we do. It's an accountability lifestyle that we do here. It's where we submit all 5 aspects of our life. Our faith, we make our Bible reading and prayer time with the Lord number 1 in our life. That's the one thing we get done. If we're only going to get one thing done that day, that's it. Then our family, we deliberately pursue a relationship. So again, it's all deliberately pursuing a relationship with God through the word and scripture, deliberately pursuing better relationships with your family, and discipling your family, friends, and people around you. Fitness, it's going out there and doing that. And that's the part I've been doing great at. I'm down like 22 pounds, which is great.
Nice.
Then it's, fundamentals, which is, always bettering yourself, always trying to add to your skill set or sharpen your skill set. So, I've been doing a lot of boxing and a lot of footwork and training people how to do that here. So, and I've been pouring into, so that's been great. But the thing that has struggled with me is and then finances. And finances is your war chest. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you. Where you spend your money matters, right? So we don't want to be destroyed and in debt, which is what Lauren and I are coming out of, right? And we don't want to be worldly and pursue Bugattis and, Louis Vuitton bags and stupid stuff like that, right? Like there's nothing more worthless than that garbage, right? When you could have made a difference in someone's life instead of driving a status symbol, right? I'd rather, give more people work and jobs and everything and lift them out of poverty so they can raise a godly family, So, and what we found, me, you, and others that are in our group, because we have prayer meetings and stuff before church. Troy actually popped in, so we did one on Wednesday. I saw him in there, and I'm like, oh man, I better get in there. So I got to do some fellowship with him and pray for him on Wednesday night. So what we found out without exception is that when you're not deliberately pursuing God, when you're not deliberately pursuing your family, when you're not deliberately making sure you're working out, when you're not deliberately trying to learn new skills, when you're not deliberately trying to get better, you devolve in all things. You regress in all things. So, the thing, to my everlasting shame, the first thing that went out the window to me is when I wasn't teaching every day was my scripture. I throw on some stuff and I'm trying multitasking with that. And then I got people showing up at 5:30 at my house to work out. So now there goes my Bible study time. That what used to be my sacred time, but now I'm pouring into guys who I'm discipling, and it's like, it's all over the place, right? But my peace was shattered. How about you, Adrian?
Yeah, the same thing. The fitness portion, definitely easy because it's been a daily routine. Getting in the word in the morning, not having y'all to hold me accountable. It's been a struggle, although I am watching a lot of apologetics videos and stuff like that. I know it doesn't count. It's not the same thing, but I need to get in the scripture, actually read it, get in there and prayer as well. just spending time with God and praying, that kind of fell short as well. And like you said, everything else, once you don't have that, support system, everything just kind of falls off, and that's one thing that I was thankful for when I found this podcast was the community and everybody supporting one another. And, one aspect that you're struggling in, somebody's doing good and they can help you out.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about, right? We're all going to suck at something or multiple things at some point, but somebody else is going to be crushing in that point. And, and you hope that they can pull you up wherever they're doing well, right? Whether it's, hey, scripture, prayer, doing prayer with you, or relationship advice because, they've solved something with their significant other.
Yeah, the family portion that kind of fell off for me too. I was deliberately doing things for the family, trying to make things, just doing, honeydews and stuff like that for the wife, and then trying to pour into my son, have a better relationship with him. And then as soon as you fall off and you're not in the word anymore, everything kind of goes out the window, and things start to take a different path. When you're following God, you're in the word, man, I mean, things are great, right? But then as soon as you stop doing those things, you start going astray. And we definitely at some point have to get back to that because, although it is difficult, it's not that difficult. You just got to make time for it. But it's such a crucial part in your walk with Christ.
Well, it's like working out, man. It's so much harder to miss a day when someone's waiting for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you have a conscience, you're not going to screw your buddy over.
Exactly.
Right. So, and what I've learned in the gym is I've always wanted perfection. I want my perfect 2-hour workout. And if I can't do my perfect 2-hour workout, it's not worth doing. No.
Right.
It's like, if I don't feel good, I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to go through the motions.
Yeah.
Because going through the motions is still progress.
Yep.
Not every day is going to be one of your top 1% workouts.
Yeah.
You're not going to PR every day, and what I'm finding, particularly on the fitness front, is how much my joints hurt, like my joints and my tendons and all that stuff. So it's like on the calendar, I'm supposed to be hitting heavy today, and I have to be like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do like, I'm going to go and I'm going to do mobility. I'm going to shadow box for an hour and a half instead.
Right.
So I'm having to listen to my body more. And my legs, like that was something that really crushed me the past, 3.5 weeks is I haven't slept until like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Like I haven't had like 2 hours of sleep straight. My wife's probably laughing because she hasn't had like 5 years of sleep.
Yeah.
Right. It's when was like in pain with my knees, and then all my kids got sick and now they were all up crying. It was hell. Right. I mean, on Wednesday I went to go do church and I'm sitting there and I can barely keep my eyes open even to get that. And I'm just like, that's it. I'm taking some Benadryl, and I'm just, the kids were told, do not open my door unless the house is burning or there are Al-Qaeda just came in the door. Right.
Right.
ISIS or Al-Qaeda's here. Fine. Anything else? Don't wake me up. And that recharged my battery, man.
Nice.
And I got to thank my wife. Like, my wife is superhuman, dude. When it comes to those kids, right? I mean, there are things that my wife's not the best at, but when it comes to patience and the kids and her endurance with their emotions, right, I just stand in awe, bro. Like, I am on ABCs and she's in like PhD doctorate level pro, like whatever, I'm like in Pee Wee football and I don't even know which way to run. And she's like the leading rusher of all time,
Right.
It's just like, I can't even where she gets it from, like where she has those reserves, like to me, I'm like, I'm here. And then zip, bang, I'm at that point and it's boom, 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 boom. I'm going to solve this problem one way or the other, probably the wrong way, but I'm solving it.
Right.
And she just stays in that fire, dude. She can go in that cave that she's talking about right there, which is Magnus Luther's bedroom, and just, be with him for whatever. And I just stand humbly in awe with her. And here's the thing, like, she could totally have pulled back away from me and my needs as a husband and not like be there for me. And she has not done that in the slightest.
Right.
Right. And, and I mean, that just takes an incredible superhuman, thing. And Lauren says God-given is a saying for a reason. So again, I really want to thank my wife who, hello, I agree, Lauren is superhuman. Hey, Linda, strength and honor to you.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
Lauren is superhuman, and she has been taking up my slack when I was crippled with my walking sticks. And, as I'm trying to, as I am pulling away from family duties and farm duties to be an entrepreneur and to earn for the family and to work and to get things straight. It's been amazing, dude. It's been very humbling. It's just like watching her give birth with no pain meds. You're just like, I can never complain about anything ever again. Right. So now, like, whenever I'm tired, I get ready to say it. And I'm like, I'm not even going to say it. And she's like, go ahead. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Right.
She's like, no, it's okay. You're allowed to say that you're tired. And I've been in relationships in the past where I was way up here and they were way down here. Right. And if I said that, I would get, what, you don't think I'm tired too? And then like, measuring sticks would come out on who had it worse. And it's that you can't have a relationship that way. Right. And, my wife, Lauren, is just, she's a gift from God. There's a reason why I don't hit the lottery when I play it, because I hit the eternity, mega millions with her. Captain Caveman, what up?
Strength and honor. Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
So anyways, I wanted to give her a shout out. So again, the crucible is something we have to get back to. We were going to start it this Monday, and just too much chaos going on for me to like lead in that. And that's the thing. I'm sitting there, I'm like, when am I going to have time to lead this? And the answer is never. So I better just do it. Yeah. And that's the lesson to everyone right now. It's never going to be the right time. It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be, what you want it to be. You're never going to be able to do it all the right way with all the bells and whistles. So just put in the time and just do it with the guys and the gals who need it. And I think we should, start that part of it, because, I know we were talking about doing it on the board. Can you screen share, Adrian, and show us how to do that? We're going to go to a break, come back, and
well, it'll take me a while to log into the page, but I can. But if you want, it'll be easier to do a recording.
Okay.
That'll probably be the best way to do it, is just do a recording and then I can share it with everybody.
Okay. So what we're going to do is, either that, or I don't mind going back to Facebook. Twitter is awesome. I love Twitter. People, I've got 11,000 followers there now. I really am thankful for that community and for the like-minded people I found over there. It blows away Facebook. It blows away everyone else as far as community goes. But as far as a group running a community, it sucks.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not there, and people just struggle with it. It's just kind of foreign, because that's not what it was really meant for, So I think we could do it in the Facebook group, where it was before. But we have so many people.
The only thing with the Facebook group is sometimes when people comment, that particular thread will move up. So people would get confused with the dates and stuff like that. And I caught myself posting on the wrong days. With the forum, it's easier to, have a sequence and keep track of it so everybody's on page,
Yeah, and plus I know there's a lot of people out there who are protesting Facebook and all that stuff.
Right.
So let's just do it on the page. You let me know when you're ready for that. When that video's done, if it's this Monday or next Monday, I'd like to do it before I start ramping up.
Yeah, I could do that.
Next week I'm going to be around, so we can do some stuff. The week after that is all ACCS,
right.
Which I'm hoping to do some lives from there. It'll probably be more from from my phone than anything else. I don't think we're going to set up the studio.
Well, I'll have my camera there, so maybe we can set it up that way.
Yeah, we'll figure something out, right? So, so again, the crucible, I think, is the backbone of what this program should be. That's the fellowship, which is, gratitude, getting a humble and grateful heart aligned under the Lord, that battle, deliberately pursuing him, and then the fellowship after. I think that is the piece of this that we have to do. But without a robust, active group, it is just monologuing or you and I talking about kind of stuff that we like to talk about, right?
Right.
So I think growing it as the Bible study, doing a fellowship show on Friday, right, I think is the way to do it. And that way we can save what we want to talk about all week for Friday, like we're doing today,
right,
and come in here and bring stuff that is a little bit more in-depth of content. We can film stuff prior and kind of throw it and be here, and then like add another window and then talk and comment about it. Like you wanted to talk about go bags. That's how I would do it.
Right.
Remember, the second I pull out a firearm on live air, YouTube's going to go down.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So it can't be live with that. And we're going to get strikes and blah, 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 and all that other stuff. Right. So, again, I think the crucible, probably, why don't we start not this Monday, but next Monday?
Okay.
Okay. That gives you plenty of time. Okay. And then we'll be gone next Monday, and we'll still do it even on the road. Like I can still do that from the hotel while we're doing the conference or whatever. I can still find time to do that. It probably won't look as pretty as this, right? Or maybe I'll even pre-record it and then throw it, because it'll just be Bible verses, right? It'll just be chapter and verse going through that. And then that Friday we'll be there, so there won't be a Strength and Honor next Friday or the Friday after that. I think it'll be after that. So let me pull up my calendar, which will be, so the 28th will be the next Strength and Honor. The other thing that we have to say is that the crucible, because I'm working during that time, is not going to happen in July. We're going to kick it to the fall. Scholarships are still there. People are still coming. I've already talked to everyone who's already signed up and already paid. They're all understanding, and they're all moving to fall.
Do you happen to have the dates for that? Because I might be able to attend during those times.
I will, once I have more on my schedule.
Okay.
So I'm waiting to see what my contracting schedule is going to be able to do that. So,
right, cool.
So I don't want to do any of that stuff. And Lauren said, well, I'm blushing in here now. Thank you for all the compliments. Well, you earned them all. None of them are, superfluous, unearned things. You're awesome. So, so that's my knee. We talked about, get caught up. I don't know if the stem cells are worth it yet. I do feel better than before, but if this was the end of it, I wouldn't say that it was worth it per se. But we're still in the early stages of this. I got another month to see where it's going to settle in. Talked about contracting, talked about the schedule, talked about crucible. Now let's get into something that we'll take a break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about where you spend your money matters. And I'm going to break your heart with Tractor Supply. It broke my heart today. I saw a report. I'm going to share it, and it's going to bother you. It bothered me bad. So we'll be back in about a minute. So see you then.
Sponsored by Trident Shield, your trusted ally in violence preparedness. Trident Shield safeguards your loved ones with expert training and consulting. Trident Shield, defending faith through preparedness, because together we save lives. sponsored by Trident Shield, your trusted ally in violence preparedness. Trident Shield safeguards your loved ones with expert training and consulting. Trident Shield, defending faith through preparedness, because together we save lives.
All right, we are back. So tonight I want to talk about where you spend your money matters. And, there are so many things that where I don't shop deliberately. Like I don't shop in Target, right? Ever since the trans bathroom things and now the satanic line of clothing they have there and the trans kids clothing with package room and girls clothes, and all the other stupidity. I haven't had a Starbucks in I don't know how many years.
I refuse to go to Starbucks. Won't do it.
Yeah. You don't, like, I'm not going to take my kids to Disney World, there's just like Yeti coolers. I won't own a Yeti cooler. Right. I won't buy one. I had one before that. And right. I'm not one of those guys who's going to throw something out that I already paid for.
Right. Did they go woke? I haven't heard about that.
Oh yeah. They were all about the banning guns and all that stuff. And, Dick's. I don't shop at Dick's because they're anti-gun as well. It just goes on and on. And Tractor Supply now. Tractor Supply, which is a place where we spend a lot of time. If you own a farm and, sometimes Tractor Supply is all you got, right? And now I'm finding out that their corporate is incredibly woke. They are pushing the DEI garbage, the Rainbow Coalition throughout their headquarters. Their CEO is as woke as the day is long, vaccine pushing, the whole thing. And I'm going to show you, it's on my Twitter page. And let me see if I can find it for you guys. And I'm just going to play this and, I'm going to add it to let me see if I can share here. I'm going to take down your guys' chat for a moment because you're not going to believe this.
They're just hurting themselves because most of the people
die-hard conservatives.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is an unnecessary wound.
Right.
This is just one corporate lunatic's agenda that they hired. And I want to save Tractor Supply, right?
Yeah.
I want to save them by holding them accountable now, right? So that they can get out of this ridiculousness. But so let me see if I can find it here. And yeah, this guy's in Tennessee. So let me share this with you guys. Share screen. Okay. So I'm going to enlarge that. So this guy right here. So it's 7 minutes and 42 seconds long, but it's well worth it. And we can pause it as we go.
Oh, you're going to want to see this. I don't think anybody's gone into this the way I'm about to. It is time to expose Tractor Supply. What you see behind me, this is what workers see walking into the distribution center in Franklin, Kentucky. But
I know how to fix that. Let me go into this now.
It doesn't stop here. You might be thinking, oh, maybe this is just some woke person at that center who decided to do this. No, this is just tip of the iceberg. You ready for this? Fair warning, you're going to want to strap in because this is going to be a long video because we're going to expose it all the craziness that they have done that their customers have no clue about. This company is absolutely stupid for doing this. The vast majority, and I mean vast majority of their customer base is conservative, including myself. I have spent tens of thousands at Tractor Supply. First, here's some more of what awaits you at that distribution center if you work there. You might even be thinking, you know what, Robbie? Maybe this isn't a Tractor Supply center. Maybe this is somebody tricking you who sent you these photos to try to get you to put out a story that's not true. Well, no such luck. There's the lockers over there for Tractor Supply Corporate, and they've got some cute Juneteenth celebration stuff too up, along with the trans flags. And here's what Tractor Supply has on their team member TV. I want to state I take no pleasure in doing this. I am a Tennessean. I do not want to hurt a Tennessee company, but conservatives deserve to know that this is where their money's going, and it gets worse. There is more. By the way, this is their CEO. More on him later, but I think you get the picture here. Let's jump to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah, they have a whole section about DEI on their website, and you've got to love that they put the stock ticker on it. I mean, that's That's kind of funny, in a dark way. You know, I questioned if the CEO was truly involved with the wokeness of this company, but I think this DEI statement from him kind of says everything. So you can pause this video real quick and take a gander at that. Oh, and look, they have a DEI Inclusion Council. In fact, they're so committed to DEI that they release yearly reports on how many more minorities they're hiring that year. Tractor Supply is doing such a good job of being woke that the Human Rights Campaign has given them an A grade. What did they do to earn that A grade? Let me show you. Their inclusive benefits, where they score a perfect 50 out of 50, include providing equal health coverage for transgender individuals without exclusion from medically necessary care. So you might be thinking, maybe that doesn't include transitions. Well, according to the definition at the Human Rights Campaign website, yes, in fact, equal health coverage for transgender people means that they are paying for transitions. So yes, when you go buy stuff at Tractor Supply, apparently that's what you're paying for. They also received a perfect score in internal training and inclusive culture for providing 4 LGBTQ internal training elements, including intersectionality training, providing at least 1 LGBTQ plus inclusive data collection effort, and providing gender transition guidelines. The closest Tractor Supply has come to being held accountable for their woke behavior is when they were caught last year sponsoring a drag show in Waco where kids were exposed to this family-friendly drag show.
Where's Waco?
It's I don't know. Well, it's about 2 hours south of me, but I didn't hear
Texas,
about this.
right?
Yeah,
yeah. Waco, Texas, right? I'm just wondering about that.
Yeah. You might be thinking maybe they learned their lesson after that. Maybe they stopped using the money from their conservative customers to fund this stuff that their customers are diametrically opposed to. But no, I looked and they actually just sponsored Franklin Pride here where I live in Franklin, Tennessee. You wouldn't notice right away if you looked at this list of vendors because it just says TSC. It doesn't have the Tractor Supply logo anymore like it used to, but I was able to confirm it was them. On the map that attendees received, you can see the Tractor Supply logo very clearly at that table because that was their vendor booth right next to the trans flag. And yes, there were kids all over this event. Even the Washington Post admitted that Tractor Supply was selling the Queer Agenda card game, which has now been removed from their website. Their CEO, Hal Lawton, is so committed to DEI, inclusivity, and yes, climate change, that he even wrote an op-ed about it in the Tennessean. Here's some of what's in it. He brags in it about how they've increased their ethnic diversity on their board and management executive committee, and that they've conducted unconscious bias training for over 40,000 team members. And to those 40,000, I am so sorry you had to be put through that, because I know you all would have rather been bit by 40,000 fire ants than sit through that training. This might be one of my favorite parts. In his woke op-ed, he ends with saying that they rallied around the theme of stronger together at Tractor Supply. Why do I know that saying, stronger together? Oh yeah, it was this lady's slogan. And her book. This wouldn't be a surprise for anybody who's seen his likes on X. This is one of the posts he liked, which was a donation call from Joe Biden before the 2020 election. And this is him back when he was an executive at Macy's, launching the Kenneth Cole Pride Collection. He's also very proud of offering 50 whole bucks to his employees to get vaccinated at work for COVID-19. And just so you know how he feels about unvaccinated people, let's go back to his likes on X. Do you remember when Allison Williams was forced to leave ESPN because she chose not to get the vaccine while she was pregnant? Well, let's take a look at some of Hal Lawton's likes that day. If you get COVID while you're pregnant and you are unvaccinated, it could do serious harm to you and your baby. Being pregnant puts you at much more serious risk. It's not worth it. My wife got pregnant, no problem, a couple months after getting the vaccine. I cannot understand how putting your family at risk is a good decision. Why did you feel the need to post this? Oh, I don't know, maybe because her civil liberties were being violated? Any real doctor would tell you to get vaccinated if yours didn't get a new one. Family first would mean she'd get the vaccine. Her husband, relatives, co-workers, they don't count as family. And last but not least, this is incredibly unfortunate. With this statement, you're promoting doubt in the vaccine. Hal also seems to like BLM. According to Google, Hal Lawton makes $11 million and owns almost $30 million in Tractor Supply stock. A real champion of the working class. So I don't know about y'all, but I've had enough. I've had enough of all this garbage. I do not want to fund this wokeness. I understand how hard it is to not buy things at Tractor Supply. I get it. I've got cattle, I've got chickens, I've got a bunch of dogs and bunnies and animals. I know how much stuff we need to get from Tractor Supply. But there are some things we can buy at other places. I encourage you to search online and let's start buying what we can at other places to show Tractor Supply who their customers are. And if you need to remind them who we are, I'm going to put some of their contact information information in the caption. Reach out to them and let them know that we don't want to pay for this stuff anymore, period. We don't want our money going to woke causes. If he wants to spend his money on woke causes, he can spend some of that $11 million salary or his $30 million in stock on it, but he shouldn't be spending our money on it. It is child abuse what's being pushed on kids at these pride shows and drag shows. They're filled with nudity, sex toys, you name it, they've got it. Kids do not belong there. Remember, these are events that are literally about the type of sex people like to have. I'd say the same thing to straight people. Kids don't belong there. It's child abuse. Stop displaying sexual stuff to kids. And the fact that companies like this then turn around and celebrate it and shove it in the face of their employees who are morally opposed to this in the most righteous way possible is disgusting. These companies need to make changes. We've already seen from our backlash in the last year, we have changed the paradigm of the way many companies are working, but unfortunately, not at Tractor Supply, where apparently they're conservative employees and being inclusive to them doesn't matter. This is all that matters to them, is worshiping this ideology, and that's very clear from taking one look at the CEO. By the way, Hal, some of your employees are not real fond of the fact that you're having this event at your corporate office to highlight LGBTQ plus people and their allies. They think that that's not appropriate for the workplace. I kind of don't blame them. I think it's a little weird too. Can't we all just get back to a place where people keep their sex lives to themselves? That's it. I don't want to hear about anybody's sex life. Why do we make this a part of the workplace? It should not be a part of the workplace at all. Your workplace is not your sex place, okay? Nobody cares about your sex life at work. We don't want to know. So now everybody, remind Tractor Supply who their customers actually are. In the caption, there's going to be some ways to contact Tractor Supply. I encourage everybody to do it in a very respectful way, but to demand change and let them know that you are going to be leaving as a customer. They're going to understand very quickly who their customers are and going to make the changes necessary, and they're going to need to make a lot of changes.
So we know that conservative brands will cave to pressure, right? Like look at Bud Light. Bud Light may never recover, right? There are other ones that have been held to the fire, and this is one that I think we have to fight for. You know,
I wonder if the shareholders can, you know, like the board of directors, if they
if stocks drop, he'll be held accountable.
Yeah. Definitely.
Right. So it basically has to be like people got to share this out. I saw it today. People are going to share this out and it's going to go viral.
Right.
And like Fox and Friends needs to cover this, and Newsmax and everything else. Strength and honor to, let me pull it up here, to Joseph.
Strength and honor.
In Alaska.
Strength and honor.
You know, so Tractor Supply needs to be held accountable, you know, and, you know, this just drives me nuts, man. Like why like LGBTQ is the ultimate participation trophy society. I want to be celebrated for my permanent Halloween costume and who I choose to orgasm with. Right? That like the rest of us, like what we put on that day doesn't matter, and who we choose to orgasm with doesn't matter. But to them, everyone must celebrate me. We need a whole 6 months for this stuff.
Yeah, and that's the problem is they create that separation, that divide in the workforce, you know, and now you have these people that are, you know, that they don't have those values, you know, they don't want those values pushed on them, where, you know, they'd rather go to a workplace where, you know, you just do your work, you know, and now they have to go to a place where it's thrown in their face. And I think, you know, most of the people that I've seen here in the area that I'm at, the Tractor Supply stores that I've been to, most of them are just, you know, good old country people, you know, that's
exactly what it's like here. It's one of my favorite places to go. But obviously this stuff is being pushed hardcore. That's and crazy. I'm sure if I asked them if you guys had to sit through this stuff, they'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, we gotta hold people accountable with our money. Like this, if money is the one of the most powerful things you can do, vote money, and the worst in the last resort is violence, right? Revolution. And you can avoid that part by doing the other two, voting appropriately and voting with your feet, like leaving places, and voting with your dollars. Right.
Yeah. The problem is we're creatures of comfort, you know, and people get so used to drinking their lattes at Starbucks, or, I mean, Tractor Supply store is kind of a difficult one though, because there's so many people here, you know, in rural areas that that go there. There's no other option. And I guess, we're going to need
find. Yeah. So let me give you some options. So I have actually gone cold turkey on them for months now by going to my farmer's co-op.
Okay.
By going to farmer's co-op, they have the stuff they have is actually better than the stuff they have at Tractor Supply. The stuff at Tractor Supply, most of it's from China and it's junk.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they do have some good stuff there, but you know what I'm saying? Like the average stuff there is not even near as hardy as the stuff I get from my co-op.
Right.
Right. And that's where I get my feed. That's where I get stuff. It's cheaper, and it's better, and you're helping farmers. Right. Not that I love walking into any Tractor Supply knowing I can get just about anything I need for my farm, vehicle, RV, whatever, right? I mean, it's a great store and it's hard to give up. It's like trying to give up Walmart when that's the only store within 100 miles.
Yeah, exactly.
So, now we got to find ourselves, going to other options. So the farmers co-op and finding, there's Azure, which is a drop ship company. There is some other ones out there that we go to for, our non-GMO chicken feed. And, and so we watch. TS, put that on your screen so we watchers can see it. I don't know what he means by that. It was on the screen. Yeah, I don't know what Brandy's talking about. So, anyways, so I went to, go into all these, trying to find these other alternatives. I've been doing it because I've been trying to find organic and non-GMO, right. And I'm trying to find ways to save money and all that stuff. Buying it in bulk. You can't really buy from bulk from Tractor Supply. But so much of what I do need, I get from there. If something goes down from a part goes down from a piece of machinery, I go there and get it, or something else.
Why do you think so many conservative companies, if you want to call them that, are going woke? Do you think, I would say, just guessing, a vast majority of the shareholders are probably conservative because they actually believe in the company, right?
I think it's that, but I think there's also, I know if you want to get any access to government contracts, you got to play by the DEI, Rainbow Coalition garbage, right?
Yeah,
and if you have all those things,
these companies are overturning. They get infiltrated, they come down with these ridiculous guidelines, rules, and whatnot, and then they flop.
Well, they hired the CEO from Macy's.
Yeah, exactly.
Like from Macy's, dude.
But do you think there's a reason or there's a rhyme to it to start, kind of forcing people to go, because they have no options now to choose conservative companies versus, these mainstream companies that are out there that believe.
Well, it does create it creates a marketing environment,
right?
Yeah, well, the co-ops, you got to Google them, Brandy. I don't know what they call the co-ops in Texas, but I imagine farming, like mine here is called, like I live in Carter County, but there's a Washington County farmers co-op. That's where I go. So it's going to be named, you just search for a farmers co-op near you, and they have everything you could ever want, including a tire shop and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So, an automotive shop, and, they got like industrial grade stuff there. Right. Like, whereas your Tractor Supply stuff is typically consumer based and not industrial grade. Right. So, I think, basically corporate America is completely lost. And, I mean, that's what's betrayed America is big business betrayed America.
Right.
When it went from an American economy to a world economy. So the loyalty is no longer to America. Right. It's now to globalists. And that's the problem, right? So, capitalism has failed us with its lack of loyalty.
Right.
The cheapness of China. We're all hooked on cheap electronics. We're all hooked on cheap computers and cheap TVs and cheap whatever, and imagine if we had to pay $4,000 for the LCD TV like we used to have to back in the day.
Yeah, that's part of the problem is, manufacturers here like myself, making things US made and, selling them for those US prices because it's made here in America. It's very difficult to get, business because of that, because, the quality is there in the product, but people don't want to pay those prices because they're so used to cheap.
Yeah, well, I'll give you an example of that right here. This is an iCore made in China.
Right.
No, it's this one here is the GT. It's 1,000 lumens.
Right.
It's awesome, and it's like $100.
Yeah.
The streamline version of this is like 800.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, who can afford 800 for a flashlight?
It's ridiculous. Some people pay it though, but
if I had it, I would. If I was Elon Musk, I did. But when you're fighting it out, like me, when I go to the store and I look at hammers, I try to find the one made in USA.
Yeah.
Even if it's double the price. But when you start getting the higher ticket items, it gets a lot harder to do that.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, people are like mad at Trump for his tariffs against China, raising the cost to us. That means that it was evening it out with American things.
Right.
The ultimate person who pays that is us. But at the same time, I want to bring manufacturing back home. I want, wages to rise. I want things to be made better. Here's the thing. Everything we ever buy from China sucks. I mean, I think this Nightcore is like one of the one exceptions.
Right.
Like, they make a great flashlight. I'm not, is it perfect? No, but a $600 difference or an $800. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You could buy, 5 of those flashlights, and if it breaks, you just replace it with the other one.
Right.
Yeah. And Surefire made in the US, or do they outsource to like the Philippines?
I'm sure they all do.
Yeah.
Right. That's what the problem is now. Now you're seeing labels that say assembled in the USA.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So it's the same junk parts assembled in the USA.
Right.
Right. But the problem is I don't even know if we have the steel mills anymore. I don't know if we have any of that stuff because we've outsourced it all because of climate
Right.
fraud. Right. Let's instead incentivize the people who mine the dirtiest and have the worst fuel that pollutes the population the most. I mean, pollutes the atmosphere the most, and do all that instead of us who does it clean and enriches us instead of enriching our enemies.
Right.
It's absolutely madness. All of it's madness.
Yeah, that's the problem I had. Getting stuff manufactured overseas was really cheap. And I did find a good manufacturer that did a really good job. And they would, do custom designs and stuff like that. And it was great. The prices were amazing. And then COVID happened, which, the shipping containers, being shipped across, the Pacific. And it was it became a mess.
Sitting offshore for 6 months.
Exactly. So it became a mess. And then, I've made a lot of my product myself, but then people don't want to pay the prices,
Yeah. Well, dude, I like this. I kid you not. So we went shopping and we hadn't been shopping in a while. Right. So we went to the grocery store and now we try to shop healthy. Okay. So gluten-free because Lauren's got celiac, organic where we can get organic. We don't buy things organic that don't need to be organic. We don't buy a lot of food, a lot of meat. But I did buy some chicken because it was BOGO. Right. If it's BOGO, I blow the doors out on BOGO because it doesn't happen often and I've got freezer space. Right.
Yeah. And you're talking just already packaged and cut and everything already?
Yeah. Chicken breasts, like BOGO chicken breasts.
Right.
And then, if I could ever find Progresso soup in the can, buy one, get one free. I'll buy them out of my favorite flavors every time because that's prepping stuff that's good.
Long term, yeah.
Yeah. So, so I'm always got an eye on that. But so my bill, right? So I had to go to 2 places to get everything I needed. I went to, Publix and it was $5 something. Then I went to Sam's and after I used my Sam's dollars, it was $800 something.
Okay.
$1,300.
And that's even with the buy one get one, or that's
even with the buy one get one.
Wow.
Right. Now I overbought on those, right? Because I maximized my value and I did get a couple 50-pound bags of rice, whatever at Sam's, but those were like $15, $13.
Yeah. Here's a good tip for you. I don't know if you know this, but Costco has a business center. Have you seen those before?
No.
And it's specifically for businesses, and anybody can go there as long as you have a Costco card, and you could buy rice, beans, in bulk. Yeah, and that's what I do. I'll go to Dallas and then just buy everything.
Sam's has it in bulk, but at 50 pounds is the bulk. Like, do you have bigger than 50 pounds?
No, but the regular Costco doesn't sell them in bulk. Typically, like the beans and stuff, you can find certain things, but the business center, I mean, it's for businesses, restaurants, and whatnot, and you can just find all kinds of things, for long-term storage. Yeah.
So, like for me, like Brandy's mentioned Vienna or Vietnam Warriors by Vienna sausage, deviled ham, and Spam. Yeah. One of the things I bought it was BOGO on corned beef hash. Right. So whenever that, I bought 20 cans of that.
Nice.
10 and 10. Right. Just to add to the reserves, because that stuff carries us when we got in a straight. So we were in a tough spot and we had just run out of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So we went back and we did that, but that's a lot of money, dude. Like that pre 2016 would have been probably $700 total.
Yeah.
And here, and maybe less, maybe $500. Now I'm paying $1,300.
Dude, we spend $300 to $500 and get nothing. It's crazy what you get. It's like, it doesn't make any sense anymore. But I guess this is, the country we live in with, the economy, in shambles. It's going to be like this for a minute.
Yeah. So Lauren made a great point. I mentioned them earlier in the show. Azure Standard is a great source for ordering bulk items, and they are an American company with clean American source products. Absolutely. Right. So what they do is they have multiple drop stations, and once a month their tractor trailer comes in and everyone pulls in and they pull out pallets for whoever, for everyone's order. And then you go and you take your stuff and you go.
Do you actually know what their website? Do they have a website for that?
Azure, AZURE Standard.
Okay, Standard. Okay, cool. I'm looking that up right now.
It's up on the screen if you want to see it.
Okay, got it. I'm there now. Yeah,
so you can buy great things in bulk. And a lot of their stuff is healthy. It's locally sourced, farm sourced. From family farms. The right way, which is how we should all be doing this, right? Like if you're not buying from your local farmer, shame on you.
Right.
Like shame on you. If you're not going to your farmers markets and buying from them, shame on you.
Yeah, we have a guy here where I'm at where he'll deliver every single week or monthly, however you want it done.
Yeah.
He'll bring the produce straight to your door, and it's amazing. One problem I'm having right now is I bought that freeze dryer. Spent a lot of money in it, and I'm not even using it. I got to start using it more.
Yeah, you do, or else you can donate it here. We'll use it every day.
Have you used them before? They're loud.
Yeah, I haven't used one, but
they're really loud. I mean, especially if I had like more space. I mean, it's real noisy, and especially with business calls and stuff like that. It's just a pain. But
Brandy says there's a farmer's market in Ellis County.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
Yeah. So again, forming these relationships. Right, with people, is it a harvest right?
I've been to a harvest right, but in California.
Okay, I don't know what a harvest right is. I think that's what she's talking about.
Oh, she's talking about the freeze dryer. Yes, it is, but they also have the harvest right has like a store too where you could buy things in bulk, like freeze dried food, and they had one in California, I believe.
Yeah, well, if it's too loud for you. We might take it off your hands from.
Yeah, I got the extra large one.
Yeah, she said no, the freeze dry. Yeah. So again, we're forging relationships with people here, getting off the food grid, right? So you're not going through sorry, all the food you guys are eating is all going to be vaccinated with everything that Anthony Fauci can pump into your bodies. Right. Whereas the stuff that is here, right, the stuff that we raise here, nothing has gone into it because it was born here.
Right.
Right. It was born here. Okay.
That's the way to do it.
We're generations deep now on these animals.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's how we're going to continue to do it. So exactly what you're getting. Our milk it's raw. Which is the health, it's the closest thing to mother's milk you can get.
Right.
If they put, you see these stupid videos on Instagram and they're like, mother's milk, and they'll show all how live it is. And then they'll show store pasteurized milk and it's dead. Right. And if they would just show if they show raw milk, it would see that it's got all the good bacteria, everything you need, and it's completely safe. You know, when people died from it, it's because they had cows in the city and they were feeding them the dregs from the breweries. So it created a massively disgusting environment, an unhealthy thing that they passed on that way.
So you're saying that just raw milk it has to be regulated, pasteurized versus
you can't in a lot of states you can't sell raw milk.
Right. Okay.
You have to sell it and you have to mark not for human consumption unless you have what's called a herd share. You pay a membership fee and now you're part owner of that cow. Right. And now because you're part owner, you can buy it. Right, as part of
your the organic mark, and then they charge you an arm and a leg, you know.
Right. Well, dude, you know, in the beginning, as a city boy, it took me a while to get used to pasteurized milk, not pasteurized milk. There's nothing else I'll do. Yeah. Like I don't even like the worst part of going to restaurants now, like breakfast joints, is the coffee sucks, right? The milk sucks. Their sweeteners suck. You know, whereas we do, you know, organic coffee, which I got a heartbreaking news for everyone out there. Sam's no longer has organic coffee. They used to have this Members Mark organic light roast breakfast blend that we've been buying for years. It's why I have a Sam's membership.
Right.
Right. And it was for like $19 or less for a big 5-pound bag of it.
Wow.
It's gone now. I went there and I'm like, I walked up and down the aisles looking for it. I don't know where I'm going to get my organic coffee because coffee is really good for you, but it is one of the most heavily pesticided things out there. So you want to always get organic coffee if you can, because the beans are so dirty with all the pesticides. So
do you buy the bean or do you get it ground?
I buy whole bean and then I grind it as I need it. And then I would do that with organic maple syrup, just a teaspoon of it, and you're good to go. And your coffee tastes like amazing. It's like the best thing ever. And, you know, organic maple syrup is tree blood. It's high in boron. It's actually got nutrients, unlike white crystal stuff and all the other stuff. You have your raw milk, which, you know, is full of protein and fats and everything you need. I mean, dude, you know, my wife puts a yolk in our coffee. Like she'll take a yolk, she'll put a yolk in there and stir it up. So now you're getting the fatty acids from a yolk and all the nutrients from a yolk in there. I mean,
that's pretty cool. I've never heard that one before. I've heard of the butter. You heard of that?
Yeah, bullet coffee. Yeah. So again, these are all things that you know, again, you should start trying to develop a relationship as a prepper with your local food supply. And I must say, you know, my mom planted a garden this year.
Nice.
And, you know, we've done potatoes here. Like we did 2,000 pounds of potatoes. But my mom did traditional, like zucchini, corn, tomatoes, basil, you know, some form of lettuce that she just goes out there and cuts what she wants to eat, not heads, but, you know, whatever, super greens, whatever they're called, Brussels sprouts, peppers, whatever. But we're starting to harvest that, man. And we're going to have a lot of it.
That's awesome.
And, you know, like, that's what people understand is after the Great Depression, there was no lawns. People didn't have grass.
Yeah.
They had gardens. Everyone grew and everyone canned. Now people think you're weird when you can, you know. But I want to get back to this point before we wrap it up. And I know it's getting late. Where you spend your money counts. Where you spend your time counts. Wherever you're, in my opinion, we should have done a full acre of it, you know, and it would have been epic and amazing, and we would have had stuff forever. But it's baby stepping. First time, right? So where you spend your money matters. When you watch the NFL and all their woke supporters, and the NFL itself with its Black National Anthem, the NFL who funds BLM more than almost anyone, the NFL who purposely divides us, right? And that's just one. The NBA, which is owned by China, which is 100% here to sow racial division. you're putting money in your enemy's pocket. Like, you are giving them a war chest to use against your family. You're basically giving them guns and bullets to use against you. Why would you do that? Well, because it's hard. So being principled is hard. Being principled has cost me multiple careers. Okay. And I don't regret a single thing about it. And I sleep at night. I don't have problems because I've been principled. I didn't cave to my morals, right? Or, I didn't cave my morals for man. And and that has really helped me have peace of mind.
That's awesome.
So again, we're going to be doing the Crucible, not this Monday, but next Monday. We're going to talk about that next week. We're going to have, I'll be doing a service this Wednesday night. And then we won't be doing a Friday. No, we will do a Friday. I think we'll do a Friday. Okay. And then we're going to take a break and then organize and then come back. So everyone out there, thank you so much. God bless you. We will see you next week. And I can't wait to see where we go. I know that this is we've been doing this, but I can't wait to see where we're going to go and how this is going to end up. But I promise you, I will be on daily doing Bible studies, and we'll do one fellowship show a week on Fridays. Just got to work out the times. All right. So God bless you. Adrian, you want to pray us out?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Father God in heaven, for this day, Lord. We glorify your name, God, and we thank you for everything you've blessed us with, God. We just give you thanks, God, for everything in our lives, God, for all the blessings that are going to come and that have came. We thank you for your son, Jesus, for him living as a man, dying on the cross and raising, God. We just glorify you, God, and thank you for everything. I thank you for Pastor Jason's opportunities in his life now. Bless his family, his children, and everything that he endeavors to do. Continue to bless his business, God, as the convention approaches. Bless his ministry as well, God, and help him have peace of mind, God, and just so he can have clarity and direction, God. And God, we just pray for the watchers of the show, God, that you touch their hearts, God, that you give them guidance, God, and guide them closer to you, God. And we just pray for this nation, God. We pray for our veterans, for our first responders. And we also pray for Israel, God. Bring peace to the Middle East, God, and continue to, shine your face upon us, God. And we glorify you, God, in Jesus' name. So you can be glorified through your son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. All right, everyone. God bless you. We'll see you next week. All right. Bye.
See you.
Sponsored by Trident Shield, your trusted ally in violence preparedness. Trident Shield safeguards your loved ones with expert training and consulting. Trident Shield, defending faith through preparedness, because together we save lives.